Hi guys, my name is Yash. I'm a CBA certified business analyst, and today we'll be continuing with our 40th question of a BA interview series. Very excited. So, yeah, what if the interview asks, how do you write user stories and acceptance criteria? I'll answer. As a business analyst, I use user stories in simple structured format to capture user needs. I typically follow the format. As a user, I want feature so that benefit. This ensures that requirement is user focused and aligned with business value. While writing user stories, I ensure they follow the invest principle. Remember invest? It's independent, negotiable, valuable, estimable, small, testable. Meaning they are independent, negotiable, valuable, estimable, small, and testable. Along with user stories, I define acceptance criteria to clearly specify when a feature can be considered complete. I usually write them in structured format like given, when, then, which helps testing team validate the functionality effectively. For example, given a user has selected products, when they proceed to checkout, then the system should initiate payment and display order summary. In my CraftCart project, I wrote user stories for features like payment retry and order confirmation, and defined acceptance criteria to cover scenarios such as successful payment, failed transaction, and retry flows, ensuring that all business cases were testable. Overall, user stories define what the user needs, and acceptance criteria define how we verify it works correctly. So, as you can see in a user story, just a minute. So, as a customer, I want payments retry options so that I can complete my order if the first transaction fails. That's a user story. So, how I write good user stories? While writing user stories, I ensure they follow the invest principle. So, first is independent, can be developed separately. Second is negotiable, flexible for discussion. Third is valuable, delivers business value. Fourth is estimable, effort can be estimated. Small, manageable within a sprint. Testable, can be validated properly. Acceptance criteria defines when can this feature be considered complete. They help developers understand expected behavior and testers validate the functionality. I commonly write acceptance criteria using given, when, then format. Example of an acceptance criteria is given the customer has items in the cart, when the customer clicks on proceed to checkout, then the system should initiate payment and display the order summary page. In my CraftCart project, I wrote user stories for features like payment retry logic, order confirmation, and inventory validation. For acceptance criteria, I covered scenarios such as successful payment, failed transaction, retry attempts, fallback gateway handling, and order confirmation notification. This ensured all business scenarios were clearly testable. User stories define what user needs, while acceptance criteria define how we verify that the feature works correctly. Overall, as you can see by the examples and understand user stories and acceptance criteria. So you see the structure and the format. User story is written as a user. I want features so that benefit. And acceptance criteria is written given a user has selected products, when they proceed checkout, then system should initiate payment and display order summary. So user story defines what the user needs, right? So what user needs right now. For example, in this example, if you see the example of CraftCart, okay? So in CraftCart, user stories are written for features like payment retry logic, order confirmation, and inventory validation. For acceptance criteria, scenarios such as successful payment, failed transaction, retry attempts, fallback gateway handling, and order confirmation notification are clearly testable, right? This ensured all business scenarios were clearly testable. So these scenarios are covered, like successful payment, failed transaction, retry attempts, fallback gateway handling, and order confirmation notification. While in user stories, payment retry logic, order confirmation, and inventory validation. So you see, there's a difference. A user story defines what the user needs, while acceptance criteria defines how we verify it works correctly. So that's a very big difference. So I hope you understand, because I want you to understand this very, very, very properly. See, a user story is written in a way, in an invest format. For example, it should be independent, negotiable, valuable, estimable, small, and testable, right? For example, as a user, if I give you an example of CraftCart, as a customer, I want payment retry options so that I can complete my orders if the first transaction fails. What does it mean? As a customer, I want payment retry options. Like if I tried a payment and if it fails, if the first transaction fails, I want payment retry option. So user stories, as a customer, I want payment retry options so that I can complete my order if the first transaction fails, right? So as a user, I want this so that, okay? So if I don't have payment retry options, obviously I won't be satisfied with the website. I would just not, visit the website or the product again, right? So what is acceptance criteria to it? Acceptance criteria is given the customer has item in the cart. When the customer clicks on proceed to checkout, then system should initiate payment and display the order summary page. You see, there's a stark difference. There's a very stark difference. Here in user story, it's clearly showing, as a customer, I want payment retry option so that if the first transaction fails, I want payment retry option. That is what a user story is. It's basically defining what the user needs, right? He wants a payment retry option because if the transaction fails, and if there is no payment retry option, then there would be a problem, right? While in acceptance criteria, it's basically defining how it works correctly, how we verify it works correctly, right? So given the customer has item in the cart, when the customer clicks on proceed to checkout, then the system should initiate payment and display the order summary page. And if the system doesn't initiate payment, it goes to retry option again. So you understand the stark difference between the user story and acceptance criteria. I know it might be confusing at first, but I really want you to understand this because this is a very critical question which can be asked in the interviews. So I hope you guys understand it clearly, and thank you so much for watching.